Hello and happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Mayor's Minutes. Yeah, it looks like I'm dressed for winter because I am. 74 on 2 days ago, whatever that was, Sunday, Monday. Here we are Wednesday. It's like 50s, chilly, drizzly. Yesterday was 44. So in my old age, my intemperate age, I get cold with anemia. So deal with the vest. Here we are. So good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Today is May 1st. Hooray, hooray. It's the 1st of May. And I say that because I sit here as your mayor and I can't believe that April's gone. I just can't, grasp what happened to the month, right? And wait until you're my age, you'll see that, this happens all the time. So just a reminder as we start the program like we do every week, that our medium has changed from Facebook Live to YouTube. You can go out to the Methuen Community Studios live site on YouTube, and you can ask questions that we'll have our guests answer. And we have some great guests today. So today we have the owner and the manager of the, I'm going to say this right, if I say it wrong, correct, the Big Blue Swim School at the Loop. And if you haven't been in there, fabulous, because I took a peek in when you guys did the ribbon cutting. We have Melissa Shore. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Shore, what a great name for somebody who works with water. Right. Yeah. I'm on the shore. Melissa Shore, who's the owner of Big Blue Swim School, and Keith Murphy, who's the general manager. And to both of you, I say welcome to a non-threatening environment. We're thrilled. First and foremost, we're thrilled to have you in Methuen, and hopefully we've shown you that thus far. I haven't talked to you, Melissa, at all about how things have been going since. But give us a general sense. How are things going?
This is really exciting. Today is our first anniversary. We opened literally 1 year ago on May 1st. So right. We're thrilled. We're celebrating, and it's been a wonderful year.
So you did the year, and let me ask you a question. So a lot of people would say, well, a swim school in like a mall-like atmosphere, is it going to be able to make it through the hot summer months when people are outside, right? Now, just the counter to that is, I drive by, I always wanted an in-ground pool. In this section of the country, there are a lot of work for a short period of time, right? You get really, probably 3 months out of it?
Right.
If you're lucky, right? If the weather's better than today.
And then it rains, right? We've had these rainy summers too.
Not including. So, how were the first 3 months for you last year?
Right.
Did they start up well?
I think people were really excited. I think this area was really looking for more pool facilities and swimming, places to bring your kids to learn to swim. And we did great. And I think with the summer, swimming is just on people's minds. It's on parents' minds, especially I'd say leading up to the summer. So we are super busy right now gearing up. I think parents want to make sure when all these beaches open and Labor Day, Memorial Day opens, they want to be ready. They want their kids safe.
Yeah, great.
And everyone's always on a different schedule. So some people are going to take summer vacation in July, some August. It's all about ramping your kids up to make sure they're safe. They know how to swim. So we stay busy. They keep us guessing. New England weather helps too.
Yeah, it does. Well, and so I'd say to you, I'm sure we've come a long way since I took swimming lessons. I'm going to tell you that my father was a former Marine and was the deputy police chief of Methuen at one time. His method of learning was push you off the dock. Get to it, right? So I'm sure you've got programs, and they're not like that where you push people and say, swim for it, right? Do we have these slides? Pardon me for asking. Do we have the Big Blue slides as part of the package?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so if we could show a couple of those and then we'll talk through them, right? That'd be great. Because there's some great information in this slide. Keep going. Okay, so there's some nice picture of people that play in the Big Blue Swim School, right? And so, a little slide here about why is water safety critical for your family. 10 people die every day from unintentional drowning. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Leading cause of death.
May is Water Safety Month. That is sort of, that's why we're here. That's why we're here today.
Every year.
But every year. And this is critical, right? I mean, one of the leading causes of death among kids under 14 is drowning. It's not, you know, it's a serious thing, and learning to swim as a parent, teaching your kids to swim is a life skill.
Yeah.
You know, everyone brings their kids to do different activities, whether it's basketball or hockey or ballet or whatever, but every parent should teach their kid to swim.
Amen.
You know?
Amen. I agree with that. And you have something, I just want to refer to a couple of comments that are, so you made a comment in the lower left that, and I'll tell you a story that at one time, my relationship with the city of Methuen goes back before Raytheon, believe it or not. So I was in college to become a teacher, and this is in the 70s, and at that time, the city paid college students full-time money to work at the playgrounds. And there was a full summer program that included a day a week at Forest Lake. I don't know if you've ever been to Forest Lake. You should. It's a hidden diamond in the city. Most of the people don't even know it's there. But long story made short, we used to take a bowling one day, and we'd play basketball and softball. The next day at the park, and then the next day would be another activity, and then there's a day for Forest Lake. So in my tenure as a camp counselor, I encountered a young person drowning at Forest Lake. So my co-instructor and I pulled the young man out of the water. And I point that out because you had a fact on the slide that I don't think, oftentimes when people are drowning, you're not going to get any visible sign. There may not be any thrashing, there may not be any, so this child had gone out beyond the depth rope and was sliding down, and we weren't really sure what was going on to start. But when we got there, we could tell, okay, he's struggling. And, it didn't get to the point where we had to do CPR or anything like that. I don't want to make it a life-saving kind of story. But it's an important point on that first slide. People don't always thrash, when they're not able to, right?
Absolutely. In fact, I mean, going back to why we opened Big Blue Swim School, my husband and I, we were looking at opening a business, and we had that happen to our own daughter. Not, not a tragic story, but just she was at a local town pool. She was still little, 3 years old, and just went under and had to be grabbed and pulled out. And as a mom, that just stays with you. You just always feel that, I wasn't watching them carefully enough. What could have happened? How bad that would have been? And so the idea of doing this just resonated with us. Like, what a great thing it is to pursue this business and help other parents.
So. There's also a fact on here that says that formal swimming lessons can reduce the risk of drowning by 88%, and that's per the CDC, right? So I think all the more important reason why we would hope that people watching the tape of today's show, if you don't already have your kids enrolled in classes at the Big Blue, you get down there and get them involved, right? Before, to your point, before the weight of the summer season and everybody wants the beach and that kind of thing, right?
Right.
And you and I both know when you go to the beach with your kids. So my kids are older now. Being at the beach with your kids is oftentimes no fun for parents. You're on like full duty alert, right? Like, where's this one? Where's that one? And it's difficult. It's a difficult job. All right. So there's a slide that I really loved on the next slide. Yeah, look at this. So let's talk about this a little bit. You got like an acronym for SAFER.
So I'm happy to go through all these safety tips, and that's what we wanted to do. I mean, obviously there's no safe. I mean, it's safer. Obviously, being safe around the water is what we want. Yep. And again, as we get into summer, I know it's still cold today, and it's May and we're freezing, but it will be warm soon, and we will have all these beaches, lakes, pools, town pools and personal pools open, and you always hear of a tragic incident, and we want to avoid that. We want that not to happen as much as possible. Yeah.
Well, you could prepare for it and not have to deal with the eventuality. Really, is the point, right?
But we have some great tips that Big Blue, our national company, because we have. So Big Blue, just to back up, is we're a national company. Yep. We are local business owners here in Methuen. We are the ones that have brought Big Blue to Boston, but we do have Big Blue sites around in other states around the country. So that's exciting. So we're part of a great team of people, and they've developed the curriculum and all the things we'll talk about that makes it a great place to teach your kids to swim. But I'll get into some of these safety tips, which I think are great.
You made a comment about the cold. It's nice and warm inside by the water, though, right?
Oh,
yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of the things we offer, and just to back up, we offer the swim lessons, even down to age, 3-month-old babies can start and go in with mom and dad, can hold them in a baby class, which is great. The water's 90 degrees, so the kids go right, no crying, no if you're at
drive there right from here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're at other pools, maybe they keep it chilly because people are doing laps and other things, but ours is really geared to having a kid go right in, which is great. And we go up to age 12. So we do the whole gamut of very beginning swimmers, more confident, up to, really mastering it.
I was going to say, so how many leagues is the wrong word, but how many groupings or class structures do you have? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, of course. We have accommodates all levels, like we talked about. We have baby classes, starting to 3 months, where it's about getting your child comfortable to the water and starting to learn survival skills, like always be able to get back to that point, like wall crawl, things of that magnitude. Then we have bright classes, and that's more for your 3-year-olds to 5-year-olds, which are getting more comfortable and learning how to get propulsion, learn straight leg kicking. Then you have your bold levels, which is more like 7, 8. 6, whatever it may be, and that's more again your arms involved once you master straight leg kicking, and then it goes all the way to big when now you learn the backstroke, you're ready to go on the swim team. One of the things that I really like about the brand is most swim schools, they're all geared towards particular avenues, but a lot you're 3 years old and you're going to be placed in this category. When you're 7 years old, you're going to be placed in this category, and you got to be there till you're 10, no matter how good you get. With Big Blue, we do everything skill checks. So if you're 6 years old and you can do the backstroke, and your parents are comfortable with you going with the bigger kids, we allow that, and I think that really gives you more progression and really more bang for your buck, if you will. Because your kid isn't just stuck in a certain skill set for their age.
It's like a child in school.
Yeah,
right.
You skip a class if you got it.
Well, if you keep them there when they've already mastered the subject, they get bored and they turn off.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So we give that flexibility, which is nice.
But even better than that, as a parent, what I really loved is, let's say you have 2 kids. You have a 3-year-old and you have a 6-year-old.
Yep.
Okay, maybe they're at different levels. At Big Blue, we will offer most afternoons, we're offering every skill level. So you could bring them both at the same time, same day.
Great,
you don't have to be like, okay, come Tuesday at 3 and come back Wednesday at 5 for your other kid. We can take them both at the same time. And for parents, that is a game changer. That is like efficient. You bring them for a 30-minute lesson. Afterwards, you pop into the loop. You dine. You grab your shop, whatever you need to do, and you're home. So
you're going to have a. So I just saw. There's going to be a teriyaki takeout store.
Yes, right next to it.
Teriyaki Madness.
Right.
I saw that. And then there's going to be a hot pot added too. Before the summer's out. So you're going to have pho. I've been taught by my kids to say pho. I was coming on the show saying, oh, there's a pho restaurant. And they said, Dad, it's pho. Okay.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. Well, you got that. And you got some other things that, you got Miller's Tavern, you got, you got Mexican, you got Italian, you got all these different mixes. To me, the Loop has done a good thing. I'm particularly impressed with bringing you guys in and with bringing in the golf.
They took a chance on us because, to be honest, this was our first location in the whole greater Boston area. And to tell a landlord of a shopping mall, oh yeah, we want to dig a big hole in your mall in the floor, 8 feet down or whatever, and build a swimming pool. Well, a lot of landlords looked at us and said, "This is crazy."
You what? Yeah.
Yeah, and another, we said, well, look, we have them all across the country. This is a great thing. Other parents love coming to the shopping mall, but the Loop took that chance and let us do it, and I think we've been really happy that we're there.
I think the Loop is. I see Randy
great.
all the time.
Oh, he's the best.
He's terrific, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's really a great time to be at the Loop.
As customer service focused as Randy, right? And as we do our July 4th out there, I think you know that from last year.
Yes, that was fun.
So it'll be July 6th this year. And it's always just after. We actually backed into that 3 years ago. When we couldn't coming out of the pandemic, we couldn't get a fireworks company to do the 4th, right? So we're like, funny. People are going to kill us. So we did it the Saturday after the 4th. Had
it's better.
3 times bigger throng than we've ever had.
Wow.
And we sat back and said, sometimes out of necessity is the mother of invention. So now I don't think we'll ever do one July 3rd or 4th again, right?
The weekend is better.
It is. And it gives people a chance to participate and then come be part of this one. And everybody we've talked to, whether it's you or food trucks or restaurants, everybody is for it, right? Because you get a huge crowd. So.
Oh yeah, and last year we were pretty still new. We'd only been open a few months. But Randy said, "Okay, you guys have to be part of it. What do you want to give away? What do you want to do?" And I said, "I don't know, Randy. What do you think?" And he said, "I've got the greatest idea for you. Give away your pool bottles of water." And so that's what we did. We gave out water to everyone. I was like, "Randy, you're a genius."
Yeah. Now let's talk a little bit about the structure. So how big is the team that works there?
About the team. We have a great team.
Yeah, we have great staff. We have a lot of part-time kids coming from the surrounding high schools, which are amazing. A lot of time it's their first job. Then we have other people who are doing it full-time, so it's a nice mix. Right now we have about 38 active swim instructors.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a management team of 3 people, and then we have a deck supervisor as well. So it's a big.
What's a deck supervisor?
Deck supervisor. No, sorry, deck supervisor. Well, a deck supervisor is someone that monitors the pool. They check progression. So every time your child has a swim lesson, they're holding an iPad and they see whether or not you've done the straight leg kick in, if you've done it without teaching tools, if you've done these. And then they'll go and have a conversation with the parent while they're there. And they'll say, hey, look, they got these amount of checks today, and here's what we need to work on. And, so you kind of have a roadmap to get your child to that next level.
That's excellent.
And you have some parents that are very engaged, some parents that are, over the top, like, let's go.
Yeah.
And then you have others who are like, I'm just...
Let Johnny take his time.
They're just splashing around. So
I'm just happy he's in the pool. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a fun mix of everybody. So you don't need to be, one way or the other to really enjoy your time there.
Well, I don't mean to paraphrase for you, but the deck... What is it, deck supervisor?
Yep.
So they run the parent-teacher conferences.
Yes, they do.
Right?
Yes, they do. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing, kudos to Keith and his managerial skills. He has created just an awesome environment. The kids, I think, love working there.
Yeah.
And they're not just coming in for maybe 2 months in the summer. And, these are kids that have committed to doing it.
Right.
So our staff, ideally, is really professional, long-term, doing this, month in, month out.
Yeah.
And he just told me we have a couple of staff members who have been with us since day one.
Wow.
So they're marking their whole year,
Great.
at the...
It's great. Now, I guess you haven't. So we have had difficulty the past couple of years staffing the lifeguards.
Yeah.
Right? To the point where, as part of our summer lifeguard program for the town beach at Forest Lake, we actually offer to reimburse the students if they get their WSI, water safety instruction, or whatever.
That's great. That goes a long way.
Well, and they have to work the whole summer, right? That's the only caveat, right? You can't get it.
No, that wouldn't be right. Yeah.
We pay for it and then you go sell it like someplace else. That's difficult. But we found we have to do that because otherwise there aren't enough people. There's a shortage of jobs, period, right? Even though a lifeguard is what I call a preferable job, it's still hard to get people to do it. We've got a nationwide EMT shortage that we're addressing with our fire department. You met our fire chief. We're struggling with that because we literally could staff 4 ambulances a day in the city of Methuen, and that's because we have to go to other cities and everything. But the lifeguards has been specifically problematic.
Well, it's funny because I believe that 100%, and there's a few reasons why. One, it's expensive to get your certification.
It is.
It's roughly around $450.
Yep.
Two, it's time consuming. Depending on if you're doing a blended class or not, it's about a week, 8 hours a day that you're, taken out of your time and you're not being compensated for with most situations. And third, it's strenuous. To become a lifeguard, you have to be able to do certain physical things that not everyone can do. For deep water, you got to do 20 laps back and forth. You got to pick up the brick 10 feet. I barely survived.
So you wouldn't know it today, but at one point I did have my WSI.
Yeah.
And I was pretty proud of that. But it's a pretty arduous test.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing to say you got.
I did it. Yeah, I accomplished that.
I did it. And what's good about Big Blue is we've actually taken the next step where we've paid for one of our deck supervisors to become a lifeguard instructor.
Oh,
so
nice.
now we're actually we give to our new SAs free certification. So because they go through some that we've already trained and got through
Terrific.
that.
Swim teachers.
Swim teachers.
What a great idea. So you've got. I'm going to come back. So you've got these programs running, and I'm going to say they're primarily children focused, right? That's a fair statement, right?
We only teach children, but I will say we have had a lot of grown-ups come in and ask us, "Can you teach?"
So that's
grandma
what I was
saying,
go to.
"I never learned to swim."
Yeah,
and I wish
because I think there's a lot of adults that don't know how to swim,
It's true.
and for them the biggest barrier is embarrassment, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the pool with little Johnny seeing me,
Yes.
struggling around.
Exactly.
So, do you offer programs for adults?
Yep. So right now it's strictly kids, but as a brand that's franchising out, they're constantly reinventing themselves, and there is conversations to go down other avenues in the future. So right now, no. Yeah. But check back, and hopefully that could change.
So that is a concept that even if you get into, I don't want you to get into it but it's going to require some thought, because it's, like I said, it's difficult. There's no adult wants to expose their innermost secrets, right?
Yeah.
And an adult who can't swim, I'm not sure how many of them there are. I'm sure it's more than we think.
There's
right?
Judgment people just walk in the door. There's a good amount.
Tough.
And that takes courage just to walk in the door and say, I don't know how to swim.
It does.
And sometimes, I would say we've had older kids come and try it. Maybe they're pushing the age, 8 or 9, and they come in and they're scared, and the parent literally is like, well, I guess we have to quit because he doesn't like it. And it's almost like that's when you really need to get them to get through and push through that fear, right? I mean, because otherwise you are going to end up with an adult that never learned. So.
Well, you empower them by making them push back their their burdens.
Right.
Do you do any functions or things like that at this pool too, or is it all?
Yeah, no, great question. Again, at this point, it's just just teaching the kids 3 months to 12. We don't do any open swim, but there's talk of doing other things because we got a huge pool, and we got a lot of time in the day, and our schedule is scheduled to coordinates with schools, so we don't open till most days till schools are out. So we have a lot of hours in that morning. So there's talk of potentially down the road doing water aerobics. There's talk,
That would be great.
Aquatherapy is another big
therapy.
use.
Be very helpful for the mayor.
So there's uses, but right now, I mean, we feel like this is what we do well. This is what we do best, and there's such a need.
And that's what
we've had so many kids, come in this first year.
Well, if it's answering the mail, I mean, you're making a mistake to turn your back on it, right? So, I was just thinking, I see like these bowling. So Randy would tell you. So I pursued him I've been mayor 4.5 years now. So for probably the first 2.5 years, I pursued him about bowling and golf, right? And not that we finally got X-Golf there, and they're doing great too.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God. But, I was on Randy's back saying, bowling's not what it was when I was a kid, right? If you go down to like King's in Burlington, I mean, they got all these things. Glow bowling, and you're eating by the lane.
Oh,
and
it's different.
It's a completely different environment, right? But I'm thrilled that he brought Big Blue in, and that he brought X-Golf in. It really, to me, and I'll say this, I was really worried when I first heard One Stop Liquors was going there because of where we are physically. We're right on the Hampshire border.
Yeah.
Right? And so to most of the people in Massachusetts, they say, well, why would I buy it here when I can go 50 yards across the state line and get it? Well, One Stop is far more competitive than even the Hampshire State liquor stores, if you ask me. Right? So they've done well. They've done some events that we kind of participated in. So I think there's good things happen at the Loop. And I know you guys will be a lot happier when Teriyaki Madness opens.
Yeah, so, for sure.
We saw their plans this morning.
Well, the other nice thing about talking about like how, bowling has changed. So I think what Big Blue also has done, stepping into like the 21st century here with technology. So I don't know how up you are on your apps, on your phone, But one thing that today's parents, because you're talking parents are probably in their 30s and with little kids, and they're on their apps, and so Big Blue has. First of all, they can track their kids' progress. So Keith was talking about how this, the supervisor will check off their skills so they can follow along. But just as nicely, let's say like they need to reschedule. I mean, we never want a kid to come in if they're not feeling well.
Right.
And with Big Blue, we have this great flexibility. You can cancel. If your kid is sick that day, cancel, no problem. Go on the app. Find a different day. We give free makeup lessons, so a kid can just say, I'm feeling better later in the week, reschedule them, and you're good to go. So I think a lot of that, of the computer technology can make things really great.
Yeah, something that we really go all in on is convenience. Just being at the loop alone and not, in the back in some industrial park that's another 15 minutes that mom has to drive. Yeah. Now you're at the loop, you can get other errands done, go to One Stop Liquors, play a little golf, do all these things.
Do other things.
Yeah, and
Pump the loop, I love that, brother.
I love the loop. I think it's a great time to be at the loop. I really do. And the convenience of these makeups, a lot of swim schools, a lot of anything you do, if you miss it, you get charged. Right. It's just personal training and whatever it is. It's just the nature of the beast. With us, you can miss, and we give you automatically 15 makeups. That's and you can do it. So you can do it whenever you want. Conveniently, you don't need to call. You don't need to come in. Just go on your app, makeup, do them.
That's terrific.
Super convenient.
That's terrific. Now, what hours daily? I should have done this. Are you open? What do you?
Yeah, so I'll say it from June 1st, since that's coming around the corner. Sunday we're open from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. Wow. Same as Saturday. Monday we're open 3:30 until 8. Tuesday, it gets a little tricky. Tuesday we're open from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday, and then Wednesday we're 3:30 to 8, Thursday 3:30 to 8, Friday 3:30.
Now, do you have kids in the early morning blocks on the Tuesday?
So it's funny because we've kept Tuesday morning open all year, and we were a little iffy about if we should do it all year long. We've had people. It's not your Saturday morning crowd, but there's still a lot of interest in
baby classes.
Baby classes are big. The kids are a lot are taught from home. There's different schedules now. It's not the traditional way that it was. So we still get a good amount of kids in. But summer, Tuesday morning and Thursday morning will will be.
Well, listen,
very
do me a
big.
favor. When you decide you're going to do water aerobics or that, so.
You're volunteering to lead it?
Well, no, I'm volunteering to be in the class, to pay to be in the class. So I had a medical event a year ago in February, and I don't often talk about it. And literally what happened is I'm on dialysis 3 days a week, and they literally took too much fluid off me. Oh. And I went down and into a coma for 5 days. This is a year ago, February.
Wow.
And most of the community knows I had to go to a rehab facility. I ended up running the, thank God my mental faculty stayed. But when I went down, I'm thankful because my arms came back, my nothing happened to my cognitive skills, thank God. But my legs were completely affected. Oh. And they were mystified because, they were saying, I don't know if you had a stroke or what have you. If you have a stroke, one side of your body is. Mm-hmm. And so everything was fine, waist up. My 2 legs, I couldn't even move them.
Oh, God.
Now, I still need the walker to move around today, but you have no idea how much better that is than where I was. And so one of the things I'm always thinking is I see old Seinfeld tapes of Kramer in the East River. Water aerobics or something that, it's almost a better workout than if you were doing it with weights because you don't recognize the resistance of the water.
Correct. Low impact. It's great.
So
in fact, I'll put that out there. If anyone is looking to start up a water therapy kind of program and needed to use a pool space, we would definitely want to talk to them.
Excellent.
So they should get in touch with us.
All right, there you go, Methuen. There you go. The owner of Big Blue talking, let's do business here on the Mayor's program. So, and I love that. Thank you. And I'm not trying to corner you into it. I'm just saying, one of the things I've struggled with, I've done physical therapy. I finished a course of physical therapy. I don't know how much better it's going to get because I have neuropathy in the feet. And so I've got to find something to keep my legs moving, but I don't know that PT is necessarily going to get me all the way there, right?
Yeah.
And that's the difficult part of it. But So if you do something like that, I think, there's a lot of people in this community. We have over, let me get the number, 14,000 seniors, active seniors, right? Our senior center, which might be a good place for you someday to, when you're saying, okay, we want to get into this, other avenue, you visit the senior center, you'll meet a ton of people, right, who stay active in the community.
Yeah.
And, there'd be an avenue for you to open. Okay, so I asked about the hours, and you're open all 7 days, I think you said, right? Oof. That's tough. And so, so what's the best thing that's happened since you've opened the facility? What's your favorite recollection?
Well, the sense of community, really. We've really been able to build something that's bigger than the lessons themselves. The lessons, we have a great core curriculum. At the end of the day, it's designated by Chris DeJohn, who, if you don't know, you would know him, but Michael Phelps beat him in the Olympic trials by 1/10 of a second. Yeah. So after his career was done there, he wanted to do something he was passionate about and started this swim school. Yeah. And he's still very actively involved. So the curriculum is amazing, and that's a fantastic part of it. But that's not the key for me. The biggest thing is how happy these kids are, how empowered and more confident that the staff gets, because they're making a difference. Yeah. I always tell everyone we're no different or better than a different part-time job, because we're not, but you need to be a little more responsible here because it comes to safety, and operations are very tight because you got to be there for your swim lesson. Sure. Yeah. You got to be there for that kid. So they get more confident. They get more of a sense of achievement. The kids themselves are over the moon. I mean, a lot of them cry when they leave. Yeah. Just seeing everybody light up and just how big we've grown and how grateful the customer base is, the staff, everybody. It's really been. It's very rare when you can earn a living but do something positive. It's probably too rare.
I feel the same way about being mayor, just
I believe it. So it's a great thing. So we've been blessed.
Good to you. God bless.
And as a parent, like our Big Blue has this mission of big moments. I mean, yes, we are teaching swimming. That is what we're doing. But as everyone knows, giving kid that moment of feeling they've achieved something, they've overcome their fear. That's huge. That's that's so important for their self-esteem.
It's an empowering agent for life, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. I mean, I still remember, and I'll admit to you guys, I was not a great strong swimmer when I was a kid, and I went to camp, and every year I couldn't pass out of a level because I just had a mind block. I couldn't get my face underwater. I couldn't do it, and I was scared. Yeah. And one summer, I still remember, I had one amazing swim teacher who was just like, "You're gonna pass. We're gonna get you through it," and he just walked me through every step of the way, and I did it. I faced my fear, and I did those like 3 tasks that were holding me back. Yeah. I passed, and I still, even to this day, decades later, I remember.
You're making me laugh because you're making me think of me. All I can remember is, for my swim teacher, I had this thing that, she kept wanting me to open my eyes underwater, and.
No easy task.
Yeah. Some people.
I mean, you're like, I don't know that I can get this, right? But we got there eventually. So, for you as a business owner and as an investor, you step back, worthwhile investment?
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's been great.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. It's not. I mean, I guess I would just ask people like please be kind to us, because we are actually small local business owners. We may seem like we're a big corporation or something, but we're not. Yeah. And we did invest, our life savings into building a pool, Olympic-sized pool practically, which is a lot. It's it's a lot, but we're really happy that it's.
Well, and hopefully, so I love having you on the program.
No, we have to do some safety tips.
We do.
Before we go.
Absolutely. Well, so it's 6:11. Okay. I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to tell you, so the last 7-8 minutes of the show, we're going to talk about safety tips and stuff. So I'm going to do a couple of ads quick for upcoming events.
Great.
You'll get to see other things that happen in the city. And of course, we would love to have you participate any way you want, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not a forced, you don't have to buy anything and give away, just be part of the event. All right, so let's go to the slides. Upcoming events in the city of Methuen. Here we go. All right, so one that the mayor has a table for, so join him. The Taste of Methuen, the original Taste of Methuen, and it's a new location this year. It's at the Lawrence Elks Lodge, 652 Andover Street, Lawrence, Mass. They did appeal to the mayor to make sure it was okay that they did it outside the city laundry, the city limits, and it is. So come support the biggest fundraiser that the Exchange Club puts on, and they're all about prevention of child abuse, and Give a Kid a Flag, all terrific programs. So tickets are $40 per person. Before you say, wow, that's a lot, let me tell you what you get. $40, one ticket, you get to eat anything from all these restaurants listed at the bottom as much as you want, right? You'll see the mayor camped out in front of the JG's booth, because that's ice cream. That's the mayor's secret, stash. However, I have same time JG's today and said, what happened to the grape nut ice cream? It went away. So we want that back for the Taste of Methuen. But look at all those restaurants. You get Harrow's Chicken Pie. You get Fireside, our beloved friends at the Fireside. You get the Irish Cottage. You get Jersey Mike's. And they all bring slightly different things. You got George's Bakery, a local Methuen. I don't know if you guys have ever eaten there. George's is down on Lawrence Street. They make, I'm going to say Syrian bread for places across the country in that building. It's just fabulous, right? George's, Man's Orchards, our good friends, the Fitzgeralds. I mean, those are just some of them. So there is, not to use an unkind word, a lot of grazing that goes on that night, right? And $40 for a ticket, well worth it, because there's no way you could eat at half of these places for less than $40. So come join us, May 22nd, new location at the Lawrence Elks Lodge. And it's from 6 to 9 p.m., a benefit for charity, which means your ticket is also tax deductible. Next slide. The Mayor's Listening Tour continues. So we've had 4, and I do want to say thank you to the residents that have come out. You've taken this seriously. We've had some good, frank discussions at these sessions, about needing to pave more roads. Mayor absolutely agrees with that. So the next one is Tuesday, May 7th, next week, from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Nevins Library Garden Room, the best library in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, 305 Broadway. And it is the best library in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Come join me, and I'll show you why I think it is. Right? There are hidden gems at the Nevins Library, unlike any other in any city. We're very fortunate. So the next one is Tuesday, May 7th. I think there'll be an ad in here for one more. There it is, May 21st. We've got one from 6:30 to 8 at my good friend Rick at Ellie's Farmhouse on Broadway, right? And he's opening up to let us do it there that night. Thank you, Rick. Angelo. For more details on the listening session, call the mayor's office at 978-983-8505. And just a reminder, the listening tour is really scheduled by the Big Butterfly. You call it Big Blue. Methuen is the Big Butterfly. If you ever look at the shape of it on a map, it's like a butterfly. Mm-hmm. And I say that because the east and the west are the wings, and the body is the central. And so one of the reasons we're doing these listen tours, these 2 are in the central district. We've done 2 in the east, 2 in the west. We'll probably do a few more. They've been so successful. But the reason we do them is not to make you come to every session. We want to hear from the residents in those districts, because what's important to a resident in the east, so I live out by I live past the loop. So if you take a left at the light there and you head up towards Salem, New Hampshire, I'm up there. So what's important to residents in my section of the city is not necessarily what's important to residents in the western part of the city. So the listening tour is one of the ways. And by the way, I bring a bunch of my department heads with me so that you can meet the department heads. If you got questions about how do I do this, that's the time to do that. And thank you to my department heads for attending it. They've been very well attended. And they tell the mayor after every session, Mayor, this is a listening tour. You're talking too much. Say, okay. Next slide, please. There's another, we got a second Taste of Methuen chart, right? With a little different logo. But look at that. They got a little apple pie and ice cream there that looks like it came from Mann's down there on the left. So up to 18 Greater Methuen restaurants and food businesses. Buffet style serve, beer, wine, and other beverages. There's a cash bar there, right? So the Elks will benefit from the cash bar. But, so the only thing not paid for is your $40 ticket is any alcoholic beverages, right? But but come on down. Tickets will not be sold at the door. Contact my good friend Jack McLeod, love him like a brother, 978-314-5081, or Linda Buell, 978-618-1828 for tickets. Get them in advance. Don't be disappointed, because you will not be given a ticket at the door. All right, next. So we're continuing, just to remind you that leaf yard waste brush has picked up, has started. And, you know, we've got the upcoming holiday for Memorial. I can't believe I'm saying that. Memorial Day. Wow. The mayor's getting old. It feels like Christmas was last week. So it's picked up on your recycle day. There are some rules there on the chart. Pay attention to them. If you put brush, you can't put it in a bag. You got to tie it in bundles of 4 feet in length and 4 inches in diameter. For leaf and lawn clippings, you can either put them in brown paper bags, or you can put them in an empty barrel with nothing else in it, no trash, and you can get one of those stickers from City Hall, the orange stickers that say lawn leaf pickup. And on your recycle day, it will be picked up. And that's good news. And that's going to happen through November 30th, because we now own our own packer truck. So great job, DPW, for doing that. And I do want to appeal to you. I know trash is the ultimate, you know, negative word in the city once in a while. We're getting way too much trash in our recycling bins. So we were on a very good pace, and now somebody has bumped the needle, and now there's a lot of trash being put in recycle bins. And we're going to have to curb that, or it's going to cost us money. So more to come on that. We've got composting we're going to talk about. We've got next steps in the recycle program with the ordinance, which I hate to say it, will end up finding people eventually if you keep doing that. Next slide. Street sweeping schedule. I just saw they did House Street today. So today is May 1st. We're down there the week of May 6th. So precincts 4 and 12. It's weather permitting, so when it rains, they can't do it. Please don't make piles in the road. It does not make it easier for the sweeper. But if you need further assistance, or you think we've missed something, call the DPW Highway Division at 978-983-8865. Next slide. Senior Center. May is also Senior Citizen Month in America. That's why I asked all those questions about seniors in the pool. So May 9th, it's an arts and crafts festival. Jewelry sale in the lobby in the morning. 10 o'clock is the grand opening celebration of National Older Americans Month. And at 1 o'clock, the Happy Hearts Chorus will sing. And then on June 14th, from 3 to 7, the Methuen Senior Activities Center celebrates its 40th anniversary. Now, one event that's not listed there, and I don't know if Jordan got it, is on May 15th, and I invite you to as well. May 15th, the mayor will host an ice cream social at the senior center. Ooh. Right? That's, I think it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Come on down. I work with my good friends from JG's, and we provide make-your-own sundaes. So come on down. Yep. Next slide. The Fishing Derby, coming up fast. A week from this Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a free event open to Methuen residents of all ages. No registrations required. You can fish from the shore or from a boat. If you're a child, you can only swim from fish from a boat if you have a parent with you. A limited number of rods will be available to borrow, so you are encouraged to bring your own. I will be there to award the fishing trophies, and lunch and refreshments provided by, we have probably the best fire and police departments in the state, and I say that candidly. Our firefighters, they're constantly giving back to this community, and I don't know what it is, but I can go on a hunger strike for weeks, and then I go to this darn fishing derby, and they're cooking cheeseburgers, and it just hits the spot. So come on out and join us Saturday, May 11th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Next slide, please. Something we're very proud. The annual flag replacement at the cemeteries is a student-led event. This year it will be Saturday, May 18th, so it's the Saturday after fishing derby. There will be coffee and donuts in the morning. And we replaced the flags on the graves of every veteran interred in the city of Methuen, including my dad. It's a fun day and a way to do something important and worthwhile for the community, because there's nothing more disrespectful than seeing those torn and tattered flags, right? 8:30 a.m. to noon at Elmwood Cemetery, rain or shine. Breakfast is served starting at 8:30. And the special guests are students from St. Monica's School. So come on out and join us. It's amazing to see how many flags get replaced in that short of time. It's thousands that we replace. It's just a terrific activity. Next slide, please. All right, so this is a slide I make fun of every week. Skate and Read program, not skate while you're reading, is every Tuesday and Thursdays, and it's going on through the end of the month of May. So you got one more month, 4 to 6 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday. Cost is $180. I think it would be prorated if you signed up now. MHS Ice Rink. Contact MethuenRec.com for more information. Next slide. Have we got any more? There we go. There's a Veterans Pig Roast at Forest Lake. This one you must register to attend. It's Sunday, June 23rd, 11 to 3, rain or shine. You must register or by calling the Veterans Office, 978-93-8585, excuse me. Attendance is limited with support again from the Methuen Fire Department and the Bedford VA. So they are literally going to have a bouncy house for kids. So bring your children, bring lawn chairs and a beverage. There'll be a joint event with Bev VA, who have various booths with info on VA benefits. And there will, of course, be a pig that's roasted that you'll get to eat. So, and that will be compliments of the Pig Kahuna. Next slide. Methuen Youth Soccer, we got upcoming clinics June 24th, 28th, August 12th to 16th. Registration opening soon. By the way, I came by the Pelham Street field. Looks marvelous. Marvelous. The grass looks terrific. So kudos to Mark Jordan and the team for the hard work they're doing on the parks and playgrounds. I think a lot of our parks and playgrounds are coming up to speed. We're spending a little money. There's a young lady who lives on Pelham Street who is finally going to be happy with the mayor because we have purchased the netting to keep the balls from hitting the houses on the right-hand side of the field. Next slide, please. A lot of clinics. Methuen Youth Lacrosse, hottest growing sport in America, August 6th through 8th, 2024 at Nicholson Stadium. Work on your lacrosse skills and be trained by the best. Register at powellacrosse.com, pages Methuen, Mass. Or use that QR code at the bottom. Or check it out on MethuenLax.com. Next slide. We had a kickoff meeting last night for the Tricentennial. Does it mean you can't participate if you weren't there? No. But I thought it was a good first meeting. We talked about organizational structure. This will not be mayor directed. This will be citizens directed. So everybody who was at the meeting last night is going to get pictures of what we did for our 250th. And so our 300th anniversary of Methuen is 2026. I won't be mayor. Boo-hoo-hoo. Not really. And it's also the United States 250th, right? So they coincide. So we're looking to do something big. Look at that. People calling me while I'm on the TV show. It's a no-no. Lots of ideas, right? And lots of good ideas shared last night, structural and otherwise. And we put in the thought of the people that came, dream big. Let's dream big first. Let's not focus on cost to start. Let's focus on what would we like to do, including gifts we'd like to give back to the city. All right, next slide. I think that might be it, hopefully. Is that the last? Yeah, it's it. Back to the mayor. So back to you guys. We have 5 minutes left in the program. Okay. Doesn't seem like it went that long, did it? So what one message would you want to impart to the community? What do you think Methuen needs to know about Big Blues Swim School?
Well, I mean, let me give a few safety tips. I
Sure.
think that's a really
Please.
important thing. Do they want to throw those up there?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can we go back to the safety tip slide? Do you remember? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so our tips for safety this summer, we just think it's super important. We want parents to be safe. So the first thing is make sure your kid is always swimming with a buddy. Don't swim alone. And if you're a parent, make sure you're watching. You have your eyes on your kid. I know it's tempting to sit there and scroll and take a text, but somebody needs to have eyes in the pool.
Yeah.
The tip I really love for this is tell your kid to always ask an adult before they go in water. Make sure they know that they need to come up to you and actually say, can I go into the water? That's crucial, I think. Second tip, acquire CPR and safety skills. Obviously, like when you have a baby, you often are sent, and we took a infant CPR class. if you aren't trained, it's important to get trained, right? Have a phone on you in case of an emergency, have an emergency plan. For F, find and replace water hazards. So there's a couple water hazards. The number one thing you always hear at the pool, what do the lifeguards always shout? Don't run, right? Slow down. So like at Big Blue, great. We have like non-slip surface, but if your kid is at a pool elsewhere, you know, make sure they learn not to run around the pool. If there's like toys and floaties and things, make sure they're cleared. We're always constantly like moving that stuff out of the way because you don't want anyone to trip. We've seen kids trip. So be safe. Make sure your pool is locked up. That's always important. Make sure you have gates, fences, whatever you need to, you know, make sure a little toddler doesn't wander out and into the water. If there's a water outside, you know, Big Blue, we don't have this problem, but when the storms come in and thunder and lightning, always clear the water, right? So we know that. E, enroll in swim lessons. I think we've covered that, talked about why that's important to get started on. And then finally, respond and call 911. I think this is a really good one for parents today if they're listening, or grandkids. Have you taught your little one? You know, you always see those news stories of a toddler that called 911 for a parent. What if the parent is the one that trips and falls in the water, God forbid? So have you taught your little kid how to dial 911 and how to do that and when is appropriate to do that? It's a good thing to make sure they know. Yeah, that's terrific. Well, and I think, you know, I'm going to ask you this question. So when I was a child, long time ago, granted, I thought my parents invented the myth that you don't go in the water for a half hour after you eat, right? I thought that was complete malarkey, just so that the parents could get some rest time at the beach, right? Is there any truth to that, do you think? I don't know if there's much scientific. Obviously, you get cramps, you're going to have stomach issues, you know, you don't want to, you know, combine the two, you know, you never want to do that. And to kind of come back to something you said earlier when you were a counselor and you saw somebody kind of in the water and you couldn't really tell. Couldn't tell. And I think that's really important, you know, to get swim lessons. Obviously, it's what we do. But if your child can tread, you know, just tread water, I mean, that's good, that's something, but no one can know they're in trouble. And they're going to get tired, and then eventually it's going to be a problem. So if you know how to swim, get dry, you know, get to dry land as quick as possible, or the first thing we teach is how to float. You know, so treading water used to be something that you really focused on, but it's not the best way, you know, to get you safe. Best way is swim lessons, right? Yeah, swim lessons, So we want to see a big spike, Keith, at the attendance of the Big Blue Swim School. Well, good. We got you. We got you a starter pack. You know, brought your little bag of goodies. They're $25. Let's see what we got here. Oh, look at. Well, we've got you a Big Blue hat to present if you'd like. A floaty. I know what that is. Now we've got a Big Blue towel. Oh wow! In case you wanna. You're gonna be all set at the lake. I'm gonna be all decked out. Put this over you. And you're gonna now you don't have to open your eyes on the water anymore. You're gonna need some goggles in case you're going underwater. That's terrific. That is terrific. And our ducky. Big Blue duck. I'll use that tonight when I take my bath. There you go. So you're all set. Listen, not that I'm shilling for Big Blue, but I'm shilling for Big Blue, right? So come on, you guys are delightful to talk to. I hope to have you back on the program. Anytime. Maybe closer to the holidays when people, you know, so to me, you know, and I got older kids, I got 30-something kids. It's always, you know, what do I give? What do I give? You know, it's like, you know, my kid said to me, do you want a tie? I said, no, I don't want a tie. But, you know, people are always looking for different, unique gifts to give, What a great thing to get a lot of people do. Swim lessons, absolutely. A lot of grandparents give their, you know, they give their kids the swim lessons. Well, and it's a gift that gives itself, right? You get the comfort of knowing that your child can swim, and you know, you don't have to worry as much about, you know, the downside of things, if you will, right? So, pleasure having you both on the program today. Pleasure to be here. You guys are delightful. Thank you. I'm going to make it a point to stop by before the end of the month, just to say hey. Awesome. And not to check up on you, so you know, and maybe to see if Teriyaki Madness is close to opening. But come on down, check out Big Blue. Like I said, for, you know, just like I did for Mans or Thwaites, or this is a business. These small businesses are the backbone of our community. They keep us going, and we should keep them going by patronizing them first. Right? So come on down, meet these lovely folks, entrust them with your children.
get the swimming lessons started before the big vacation plan, right? Do it now. Have you got openings over the next couple weeks?
Absolutely.
All right, so all the more reason to get down there now. Maybe get one of these duckies. I might raffle this off. And, you know, take away probably one of the great concerns for parents. I can tell you for me, I very rarely relaxed when I went to a backyard pool party or when we went on vacation, right? Constantly scouring and so it's tough. So, but we got a place in the city that's dedicated to teaching your children to swim. Come on down, relax. You know, you don't have a bar in there, do you?
No, but I hear X Golf does that next door.
X Golf does. So your parents, you know, you could leave the kid in the swim class and
No.
Yeah.
You can't leave them.
You can't leave them. You got to stay with them.
But we have a beautiful.
That's good.
We have a beautiful lobby, and parents can sit and see everything that goes on, so they can feel safe knowing their kids are. The beautiful glass wall. They can sit in the cool comfort of the lobby.
Free Wi-Fi.
Well, and I like the idea of the deck supervisor. I love that. That person's watching what the child is doing from a progress perspective and regularly reporting it back to parents.
Absolutely.
That's a benefit.
And they're all lifeguard certified as well, which doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Well, I may be calling you.
All right.
We can't get any for the town lake, right?
We'll make it opening for you.
Well, and you know, I'm going to put this out there before we sign off. So maybe one of the ways the city can help you is to host a Big Blue Day at Forest Lake, right? So in the heat of the summer, the town lake gets pretty packed. And a lot of the people that I see there don't know how to swim. So there's, the typical town beach, there's like a cordoned off, don't go beyond here, right? And most of the people don't. But I'm sitting here thinking about how else can I help you, which is really the reason I bring you on the program. How do I help you, right? Stay in business, get more clients. We've got a couple events coming up at Forest Lake, and I'll talk to you about what they are and say, maybe you want to have a presence there just to show, here's the kind of things we can do. Maybe you want to come with an instructor and, do a demonstration of certain things that you might do, because it's all advantageous. Because, the one downside to having an outside, like a town lake is, things happen. So we have to constantly test the water. And there's times in the year where, with the geese in the water and all this stuff going on, you got to shut it down and let the bacteria levels clear up. We do events, like I said there, that would be good for you guys to make a presence and show people, hey, here's something we offer. That's my phone ringing, sorry.
Sounds great.
And we do offer drop-ins, I should say. So if there is a rainy day this summer that your kid thought they were going to go to the lake.
Yeah.
And then they can't go swimming outside. They can always do a drop-in, come visit us. And the other great thing, we're so confident in what we do. We think people will love it if they just try it. So we do free trial. So anyone's welcome to sign on, try it out once, and see see if the child feels ready and if they love our place.
All right. Well, God bless you both for coming. Thank you. I appreciate this. You didn't have to give me the gifts, but I love them. Big Blue. Get down and check it out for your kids. And lobby hard for that senior aesthetics aerobics class in the water, soft aerobics. We're back next week. We were off last week. We're back next week with another guest. I'm trying to remember who it is, but I can't. So it'd be hard to top Big Blue. That's all I'll say. So kudos to the two of you. For the rest of the Methuen, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back here on Mayor's Minutes next Wednesday at 5:30. Thank you and God bless. Stay healthy.